so damn injured all the time.
Yeah, yeah. He's a legend. He's a legend without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, we're
So,
live by the looks of things. There's me going on, and I see in the top left-hand corner that we are live. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gooners Arsenal 101 end of week forum. We'll be discussing the massive week of results in the Premier League, and it has been a massive week. As we draw closer and closer to the end of the season, each week now becomes even more focused in terms of what results go where and why. So without further delay, let me bring in my boy Drew. Drew, how you doing?
um, aside from slightly squeaky bum time at the moment, thanks to those Scousers, not too bad,
Mm.
not too bad. I'm actually still feeling a little bit unlucky for you guys the other night because Martinelli turned Trent inside out. So you got unlucky with 3 minutes of
Yeah.
luck. So
I mean, it was an evens game. We're going to it. We're going to it. I'm hoping that we're going to be joined by Neil, the Liverpool contingent, and Andy, another regular, should be with us shortly, hopefully.
to be fair, I
But
imagine Neil's still kind of like bouncing off the walls with
I could
excitement.
imagine.
So
I could imagine. So it's going to be an interesting conversation today because we're pretty much into that gear now. We're in the countdown. We've got for you guys, it's what 14 games potentially.
oh my right, I've literally got lost in how many games we got left, but I think it's 14 or 15. I
Right.
think.
So you know yourself in Liverpool are clearly the two running for the title. Um, both have still got an interest in the Champions League, and and both are in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be a very interesting last set of games because you see how important those additional 2 points were at Crystal Palace. Well, that could all just turn on its head very quickly if Liverpool get a draw.
Yeah.
And at half time last week, or earlier this week rather, it looked like that could be on the cards. And I remember saying the night before, you know, as I was talking about Crystal Palace doing a fantastic job of last minute defending. Well, Arsenal weren't even last minute defending. We were just playing really well and were
Yeah.
actually in the ascendancy. So at half time, my conversation was if we keep this going, we could nick a winner. And lo and behold, Liverpool do what Liverpool do. Two chances, bang, bang, and it's game over. Um, and they're clinical. But I'm not going to go any further because obviously I want Neil to get his glory. But what else has been on your mind football wise? Because obviously we've just had a Champions League week, we've had a Europa League week, you've had a Europa Conference. I mean, there's just so much to talk about in terms of what's been happening this weekend. Obviously, another FA Cup week. So much. What's your highlights of the week?
Right. So one highlight, and people are going to probably be a bit shocked when I say it, seeing the birth of Patrick Vieira, the manager, right now.
Mm.
This is twice in the same season he has done a number on Pep with just solid tactical thought, and I don't think I've ever seen a manager work out how to play Pep so quickly, and he's done it. You sit deep, you take your chances when you can, you just don't get beaten, and
Yeah.
I'm just imagining what he could do if he had like City's squad, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, you think
give
like
it two
you know,
years.
it's. I mean, even City squad is being very unrealistic. But I mean, you just think like there aren't any players that you would go, well, they're clearly stacked at the back.
Yeah.
Defensively, I wouldn't pick any of their defenders above any of my defenders at Arsenal. But
No,
I
everyone
feel,
in that squad plays
mm,
above their ability. Even when
yeah,
Jordan Ayew came on the other night, I mean,
mm,
Ayew's a player 5 years past his best, but he done a job for the final 20 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, the defense is, I mean, it's shaky at best. You've got players like Nathaniel Klein who they're at the back end of their careers now. Players that never quite made it as far as they could have done. But Vieira's got them playing like a proper unit. It is good to see. I mean, crap for City, but it was a highlight because it was a genuine defensive masterclass at times.
Yeah.
Even though, is it Gaeta, the Palace keeper? He did try to throw it away 2 or 3 times. So, but defensively, bar the keeper, Palace, yeah, I'm just well impressed with them yet again.
Yeah, yeah. And what did you think of the England squad? That was interesting.
So, I've said it many times. I don't rate Jadon Sancho, but Jadon Sancho can't get in the England team when he's started to pick up a little bit of form.
Yeah.
But Slabhead, Maguire, I just.
That is why
anyone else.
I will always say Southgate does play players in form, but he still has his favourites.
I mean, every manager has a favourite, don't they? I mean, it is kind of like manager's prerogative. This is my boy. I'm putting him in.
I mean,
but
you just wouldn't pick Jordan Pickford on form of late.
Absolutely
I've
not.
seen him have howlers.
I mean, I've been critical of Arsenal's keeper, but the past 2 months, there's not a better English keeper in the Premiership. Absolutely not.
I agree.
Yet he's in the under-21s, and Jordan Pickford is number 1 choice for England with Maguire. I mean, it's a World Cup year. We need to be a bit more kind of like progressive with our thinking here.
Yeah.
So obviously we got to the Euros finals last year. So we can't bitch too much. But I genuinely think that was more in spite of certain elements of our squad and a couple of elements overperforming.
Have I just been texted that Leeds had made a dramatic comeback?
No, they couldn't have done. They were 2-0 down and getting walloped.
Dude, I'm about to blow something up. I'm like, what have I just been texted? Leeds have won the game 3-2. I swear to God, I was like you. That game's over. Wolves are 2-0 up. That game's over. At Wolves, at Molineux, that game's over.
I mean, this is disappointing on a number of levels for me because this week on my fantasy football, I put in 3 Wolves defenders thinking it's Leeds. What's going to happen?
Oh, my days. Jimenez got sent off on the 53rd minute and Leeds are literally just come back. Goals from Harrison, Rodrigo and Luke Ayling.
I know they're down to 10 men there, obviously, but when it's your centre forward that gets sent off,
you kind of think
you could just two banks of 4 and drop your other forward back.
Unbelievable! Wow.
I don't often get speechless, but I think this is that moment where I've actually just.
Wow.
It's getting very interesting down the bottom of the table now.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, within the space of a week, Leeds have picked up 2 wins.
Yeah.
They haven't got a win, which I'm like, well, they're in free fall, but they've got a win.
Well, all of a sudden, because we were seeing Newcastle starting to break away from it, all of a sudden Newcastle are right back in to the fight again.
That does. Brentford are right in it.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, mad thing is Everton have a load of games in hand as well. Burnley have a load of games in hand. Well, a couple of games in hand.
Out of those teams, I genuinely think at the moment Burnley are the most secure, even though they're in a relegation zone.
Wow.
It's based on they know how to get out of the relegation zone late in the season.
Oh,
Sean Dyche has navigated this scenario so many times.
he has.
Whereas
Indeed.
you're looking at Everton, Lamps has never been in this position.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Eddie Howe at Newcastle, but the one time at Bournemouth were in that position after they got promoted, they got relegated. So
Wow.
I've always got faith with Sean Dyche to get Burnley out of trouble. This will probably be the year I'm wrong, but I'm still going to keep faith with him. He's my big ginger brother from another mother, so I've got a love on him.
Oh, bless you, bless you. So the others are obviously taking their time. So let's jump into last week's results. Starting with last Saturday's games, there were only 3 games on the day. Couple of headline games though. I mean, we started in the morning with Brighton losing at home to Liverpool. No surprise there, 2-0 to Liverpool. The midday game saw Brentford win at home 2-0 to Burnley. Kind of was thinking Burnley might have snatched something out of that one, but good win for Brentford at home. I actually work with a Brentford season ticket holder, and she tells me how wonderful it is that they've been doing really well of late. Hey Andy, how you doing?
Andy.
Yeah, hi guys.
Oh yeah. So we've had a little chat, and we sort of started looking into last week's game, Andy. So how are you, by the way? Just
Yeah.
give us a rundown of how your week's been.
I've actually been backstage watching the two of you for 10 minutes, but I'm not sure Lisa knew I was there. So
okay.
but yeah, I've been watching you because I wanted to tell you all that I'd just seen the end of the Leeds Wolves game. Incredible comeback.
Wow.
It was sensational. Leeds had 4 players went off injured in the first hour, and they had 3 subs and a concussion substitute. So Leeds lost Bamford, Leeds lost Struijk, they lost Llorente, Koch, all these people, and it was just incredible. And then, but Wolves were 2-0 up, and Jimenez got sent off for a second yellow. And when the Wolves went down to 10 men, Leeds just took over, and suddenly they got 2 goals in 3 minutes, and then they got a winner in injury time, 1-3-2. An incredible game.
Wow. Thanks for that update,
to be fair,
Andy.
that's like the entire spine of Leeds' team that got injured.
Yeah, I'm Leeds. I just love Leeds. They just never ever know when they're done, and I know they've taken some real hammerings this season, but you know their spirit and their fight. I really want them to stay up, and I think they will.
Yeah.
So that's a big, massive win for them tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that puts them 7 points clear of Watford and 8 points clear of Burnley. You know that those boys at the bottom 3 now have got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Burnley are staying up, Andy. Don't you?
I know you're you know, I can understand it, but to me, it's Burnley or Everton. I mean, Burnley, Watford, or Everton. It's 2 from 3 going down.
Yeah.
To be honest, realistically, it should be Burnley, but for shits and gigs, I do actually kind of want it to be Everton.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you want big teams like Everton, but I mean, it's a weird one.
Yeah. Hey Neil, how you doing?
Oh, gents, I fell asleep, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
It's old age, bro. It's old age.
I know. I woke up and I thought, oh my days, what's the time? I thought, sugar, I should be on. So yeah, I'm here now.
Apologies to the people in the chat. Some of us were doing all sorts. Anyway, I've overlooked your 2-0 win at Brighton because it's a formality. Just going back to last Saturday. I want to move on to the most important game of the day, which was, of course, Manchester United 3, Tottenham 2. What a game. What an advert for football. I mean, you know, it's the kind of game that you expect, but you just don't know what you're going to get with Man United currently. Andy, obviously, it's your team. Talk to us. What was your feeling during that game?
Well, basically, we were the better team and lost. Yeah, it happened.
You always say that.
What do you mean I always say that? No, we've been shocking for large parts of this season. I'm not saying that. We were the better team on Saturday. Even all the pundits and their own fans were saying it. We were the better team, but we lost, and that happens in football. Happens many times, but you know it. But we weren't sensational. I'm not saying like we deserved to win 5-0 or anything, but we were the better team on the day. But you can't give. We made shocking defensive errors. I mean, the moment Ronaldo gets the ball 25, 30 yards out, right? I said immediately, straight to him, there are players you can let have the ball 25, 30 yards out. If it's Fred, all right, you have the ball. I'm going to back off and see what you're going to do. If it's Ronaldo, you've got to be on him straight away. You can't give him any space. We let him turn, have a cup of tea, look up, have a look around, shoot from 25 yards, top corner. What do you expect? It's Ronaldo. You know, it's just ridiculous. Dyer's got to get out to him straight away. Terrible.
Can I just say one thing, though, about your analogy there? To be fair, if it's Fred that's got the ball, you can let him have it 2 yards out.
That's what I mean.
And you're good.
That's what I mean. If it's Fred or, I don't know, McTominay or Dallo or whatever, I'm not bothered if they've got the ball 25 yards from goal. There's only one player in that team I'm really that fussed at 25 yards from goal, and that's Ronaldo. You've got to shut him down. You've got to make him do something. And you can't just let him pick his spot and shoot, because he's the one player in the world it's going to end up in the top corner. So that was poor defending from Spurs. And also the second goal weren't great. And there's a whole terrible things that we are doing defensively. But, you know, we've got forwards that can score goals, which does help. But, you know, we got back in it twice and then still gave it away again. So it wasn't a terrible performance. I've seen a lot worse performances from Spurs than that this season. But we lost the game and we needed to win it. But because Liverpool then went on to beat Arsenal on Wednesday, we're still in with a shout. What we need is for Villa to do us a favour tomorrow morning. That's what we need. If that can happen, then it's game on. I think Wolves are out of it tonight, losing at home to Leeds.
Yeah.
Because they were only 2 points behind you at half time tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see.
Let Neil, while you're fresh on here, talk to us. Did you watch the game?
The Spurs United game, yeah, I did.
I want you to talk to me about Ronaldo, because earlier in the season, when Darren was on here, we was all saying, but United, look at what Ronaldo has done. He's upset the way they play, this and that. But what would United be without Ronaldo? They'd be in the bottom three.
To be honest, I kind of agree and disagree. I'm one of the guys that when you looked at United before Ronaldo got there, came back. They did well. They came second. They had the way the team was built. You got to look at how certain players actually acted before Ronaldo got there. When he got there, you got to look at Bruno Fernandes. Seriously, he was the man. He was the man last season. before Ronaldo got there. Now
so you're saying it's Ronaldo's fault that Bruno Fernandes isn't doing what he's doing?
You know, I'm not saying that it's his fault. What I'm saying is he's upset the flow of the team, because the team was
the dynamic.
No, the team wasn't built around him. If the team was built around him, I'd say fair enough. And you are going to get games.
It's not his fault, Neil. I don't believe it's his fault.
No one's saying it's his fault. No one is saying it's his fault.
Was a decent baller last year. This year he can't shoot for shit. It's not Ronaldo's fault.
No, I'm not saying it's Ronaldo's fault. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the way they played before Ronaldo got there, they were all in tune. Yeah, they came second in league. You can't kind of think, well, that's nothing. You're talking about a whole season. You're talking about playing like a whole season, not playing like 1 or 2 games.
Based on that, last year Leeds were a fantastic team. They looked like they could be European bound. This year they're in a dogfight to stay in the division. The same team.
They're playing bad. But no.
What are you going to try and say?
It's the same squad, but they've been decimated by injury, Tony.
You've got to look at how they're actually playing. Yeah, they cannot string 2 passes together sometimes. Whereas last season they were doing it and they were kicking people's asses. Yeah, right. Ronaldo's come in and yes, he scored a lot of goals for them, or decent goals for them in Europe. Yeah, there have been games this season where he's actually gone missing. There are some games he hasn't even been played. Yeah, he's come on as a super sub sometimes. Yeah, but you got to look at how they play throughout the whole season. You can't tell me that because Ronaldo's there that they're playing better than they were the season before. They're not. They're definitely not. You know, I'm not going to say that Ronaldo's not a great player or anything like that because that'd be stupid, right? But it's just not working. Especially when you look at their position and some of the results that they've had, it's just not working. Yeah, I'm happy because you know, being the Liverpool fan, I'm glad that they're struggling. I want to see them struggle, and I love that. But the bottom line is, had he not been there, they may not be where they are now. They might be worse. They may be better off. We don't know. Yeah, we just know that he's just been added to that, and right now they're not doing what they should be doing against teams that they should be beating.
I just can't get that rhetoric that Man United would be better if they didn't have Ronaldo. That just makes no sense to me.
I'm going to offer some of my perspective on this one actually, because I don't want to compliment Ronaldo because he plays for United mostly. I do genuinely think I think he's been the best footballer of the past 20 years easily, right? And that's ahead of Messi as well. That's ahead of anyone that I've ever seen. But we look at United at the moment, and we can say, oh, they're not playing as well this season because Ronaldo's disjointed the team. They're unbalanced now, which to a degree it is true. But what they had last season was Bruno Fernandes was banging in shots from 25 yards. Exactly. They were getting a lot more penalties. United were getting soft points. They're not getting soft points this season in the same way they were last season. So when we look at the performance and has Ronaldo upset the balance of the team, he has, but he's not the reason that they're so far off of where they were last season. The fact that United aren't getting the decisions they were getting a year ago has had a massive impact on it. And the fact that Fernandes, he's not balling in the way he was last year. So there is an element of truth to the Ronaldo thing, but I don't think that's the reason that United have dropped so far, quite honestly.
Okay.
I'm glad anyhow. I don't care.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ecstatic. I was very ecstatic when Romano just decided to go and laugh in Harry Maguire's face as well. That was brilliant.
That was actually quite comical. Anyway, guys, let's shoot on. Chelsea won 1-0 at home to Newcastle. Last gasp winner. That was actually quite an interesting game. I thought Newcastle deserved a draw out of that one at least. Anyone else care to comment on that one?
I definitely thought that Newcastle did enough to get to share a point on that. The thing with Chelsea, sometimes they may not play as well, but they will get the results, and they do that season in, season out. You know, which is why they always do well. I obviously was hoping that Newcastle would actually get the 3 points, but looking at how they actually played, they did actually deserve the share of those spoils, in my view.
Andy, let me give that question down below to yourself to deal with while we've got it up on the screen.
We need to get 6 points more than Arsenal do. That's what we have to do to finish fourth. And should Eric Dyer replace Maguire? Even as a Spurs fan, I would have to say no. But Maguire is shocking at the moment. But for England, Maguire has been a pretty consistent performer. So until he doesn't perform for England, I would say you're still going to select Maguire. If he starts having bad performances for England, then maybe you might be looking at changing it. But as of now, I don't see Southgate dropping Maguire at the moment. But we'll see what happens. If he starts having poor performances for England, that would be different. Eric Dyer, I think I've said many, many times about Dyer. I think he's an excellent centre-half outside of when we're playing teams outside of the top six. But when we're playing the top sides, teams that move the ball quicker, or the forwards are quicker, or you're playing, the likes of De Bruyne and people like that, Liverpool, then I think Dyer, his judgment under pressure is not great. It's like he should have rushed Ronaldo last weekend, and he didn't. He chose to sit off and let Ronaldo hit the ball. That was a mistake in my eyes from Dyer. So we'll see. Obviously, I'm keeping my powder dry on Spurs fourth because I'm putting all the pressure on Arsenal. It's theirs to lose. They're I'm happy there. We're just sitting there, just bubbling under, waiting for our opportunity. We'll wait and see what happens.
Will indeed.
We've let things slip too many times this season for me to be confident. But the fact is that other teams have also slipped up when they've been in a good position. Like before Wednesday night, Arsenal basically had 3 games in hand on everybody. 3 games in hand on United and West Ham or whatever, and 1 game in hand plus 6 points in hand on us. That's in effect 3 games in on everyone. Now it's 2. If Villa can do a job on them tomorrow, that's down to 1. Then the other teams, United, Spurs, they've got to start winning games as well, because there's no point Arsenal dropping points if we don't win either.
Yeah.
And we've got West Ham Sunday. We've got a bonus in that they've got no extra time last night. Hopefully they'll be tired, but it's Spurs. West Ham will be up for the game on Sunday. I have no doubt about it. Yeah. So and last year we were 3-0 up at home against West Ham with 8 minutes to go. We still drew 3-3. So I mean, you're never sure with Spurs what's going to happen, but we are looking better. That's all I will say.
All right, mate. We'll move on swiftly. So we've got a lot to cover. Everton lost at home to Wolves. There was no surprise there. I don't think anyone was surprised by that result. Wolves were obviously, doing really good at that time. I know they'd lost to us in 2 games, but they were doing really well. Leeds was an interesting 6-pointer. They won at home to Norwich 2-1, which was the start of what looks like their comeback. Southampton lost at home to Watford. There was a surprise. Watford all of a sudden looked like they now want to get out of the bottom 3. So they won away at Southampton in what appeared to be quite a good win for Watford. Then we had West Ham won at home to Aston Villa in the Battle of the Claret and Blues. Can't say I was surprised by that. West Ham haven't been great of late, but they showed enough. And then we had the big late game on Saturday, Arsenal at home to Leicester. And Arsenal came out triumphant, looked fantastic in doing so, and made all the fans seem like we were on cloud cuckoo land in a romp towards that 4th place.
Against the severely weakened Leicester team, yeah?
Yeah. How quickly the week can change. So, Monday night...
You're totally glossing over that.
I am. No, because...
To be fair, I considered driving up there and putting my boots on to get a game, so...
Yeah.
Officially, I've come out of retirement. So
the big game that needs talking about is the midweek game. I mean, so yeah, we'll go on to the midweek games. Monday night, Crystal Palace at home to Man City. Man City fell over. Drew and I have already talked about this briefly, but Drew, tell the lads what your thoughts on this game are.
I mean, Palace absolutely deserved to get their point from that game. Genuinely did. I was asked by a few of my mates before it, like, "Oh, what do you think the result's going to be?" And it was a genuine one. Look, on paper, City should smash Palace 4 or 5-0. But I said we wouldn't beat them. I knew it was going to be a draw. I mean, I was hoping for a draw after what they'd done to us earlier in the season, to be fair. But I think bravo to Palace. They've played us the best in the league this season, down to Spurs, quite frankly, which is massive credit for a team who are working on the shoestring budget that they have to spend. So
I find it,
Unfortunately, just means that Liverpool are nearer to us now.
I find it amazing that the City have not beaten. They've drawn twice with Southampton, drawn and lost to Palace, and lost twice to Spurs. So against 3 teams, City have only failed to win 7 games, and 6 of them have been against those 3 teams: Southampton, Palace, and Spurs.
I know, and it's all mid-table teams as well.
The only other game they failed to win was the 2-2 draw with Liverpool. Other than that, they've won every single football match this season. I just find it bizarre that teams like Spurs, Palace, and Southampton have got the voodoo over.
If we actually look back though to the Liverpool game, and Neil, I'm sure will disagree with this, but City should still actually have won that game if not for the referee really liking James Milner. So I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
Okay, so then we go on to Wednesday night's fixtures, and again, well, how quickly things change. You know, Tottenham lost on the weekend. They come into the midweek
It's
game.
a long time since St Totteringham's Day was interesting. About 6 years, if my memory serves me correctly.
It's coming back, buddy. Don't worry, it's coming back. I'm feeling confident myself. I feel it's coming back. So yeah, as I was saying, Tottenham lost on the weekend, and then they come into a game away to Brighton, and we kind of know what's going to happen there. You know, there's going to be a reaction, and lo and behold, there was. So obviously, I was at the Emirates with Apollo watching Arsenal. So, Andy, tell us about that game.
Well, to be honest, Brighton they barely had a shot on target in the whole game. I can't believe what's happened to Brighton earlier in the first half of the season. Brighton were one of the best organised outfits, very organised. I know they drew a lot of games, but they were very well organised. Made a lot of teams struggle playing against them. Looked very, very good. Their problem is they don't have a lethal strike force, which means that they don't tend to score many goals, which means they give other teams opportunities. That is a problem for Brighton. The thin squad is a problem for Brighton. But yeah, I mean, we dominated. We literally could have had 5, 6, 7 the other night.
Wow.
And you know, Harry could have had a hat trick. We could have had a couple more easily in the first half. To be honest, it was a comfortable 2-0, and you don't get that with Spurs very often. But I wasn't really worried at any point during the game, and I don't say that very often watching Spurs.
Yeah.
So
what I would say, Andy, is that I've noticed the Son-Kane duo have started clicking again. Is that a fair?
Recently, Kane more than Son. I think Son's going through a bit of a bad patch, but you have to remember Son's pretty much played almost every minute this season, and I think he's looking a little bit jaded. But he's having little spells in matches where he's still looking dangerous. But I think that some of our players who've played a lot of football are looking a bit jaded at times. So I think probably games like Wednesday night probably help a few of them, because they probably didn't have to really bust a gut to get over the line on Wednesday night. We were in a fair amount of control in that game, and that possibly he took Son off well before the end to give him a bit of a rest, which I thought was a good idea. And he did the same with one of the other, Kulusevski, I think he brought off as well. So he's trying to get minutes into substitutes, and we desperately need Skip back. I mean, we've missed Skip for the last 2 months now, and that's been a real problem for us. They thought he was coming back a few weeks ago, and then he did something again, and he's out for longer.
Wow.
So
look,
I mean,
someone else wants to bite Origi. Neil, talk the talk, man.
Why can't you guys just leave Origi alone, man? He's happy
because he's a good striker and he could be doing so much better at another team.
Like you are basically holding a large Belgian man hostage. That is what Liverpool are doing to him.
Hey, do you know? There's nothing wrong with that, man. He's getting paid. He's getting paid to be held hostage, mate.
Oh,
He's
so-
getting paid to be held hostage.
So Liverpool fans openly endorse taking hostages.
I wouldn't use those particular words. We're not holding him against his will. He's tied to a contract. He's been paid money, and we're just not willing to sell him just yet. You know, it's not,
Why?
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, our squad isn't as strong as City's squad. I mean, we don't have two squads like City do.
You have 6 strikers. What are you talking about, fella?
Just because we've got 6 strikers doesn't mean that we've got two
We
squads.
haven't even got
have
one.
It's not a fair battle, is it, Neil? Come on.
All right, I can't say anything.
So while you're in jovial spirits, mate, talk to us about your feelings about the Arsenal-Liverpool game.
Wow, that was to be honest, overall, I am actually disappointed. And I'm disappointed from both sides. The first half was for me, the first half was crap. Yeah, we were tentative. Arsenal were tentative, right? We spent a lot of time defending rather than attacking. It was just like, you guys have the ball and we'll just sit back and watch you lot play around. And then when you're tired with that, pass it to us and we'll do the same thing. And the first half was like that. Seriously, when half time came, I just thought, you know what? I'm not sure if I really want to watch this game if it's going to carry on like this, because it's going to be a boring 0-0 draw where no one's actually going for it. Second half started a lot better. After Klopp made the changes, that's when we kind of obviously got our 2 goals. One just before the change and one just after the change. The game needed that because neither team were really going anywhere. It was a lot of bark, but no actual bite. You know, and that's my view. That's my view. I was looking forward to, before that game, I was kind of like apprehensive because I thought that Arsenal were going to do a number, because you guys have been on a good run, and I thought you guys were going to do like a smash and grab, but not in a jammy sort of way. I just thought that you guys were going to just play that well. It was going to be a bad day in the office for Liverpool. But as I said, after the first half, it was just like, I just thought, well, no team's really turned up to actually score any goals, and that's how I thought it was going to end. After the changes, we got the result, which is a good thing. You know, for me, it was more of a win ugly sort of situation rather than Liverpool going out and dominating or Arsenal going out and dominating. And when you look at the previous games that we played against each other and the run up to that game, I thought there was going to be a lot more bite from both teams in that game. But I'm glad we got the result, which is the main thing. 3 points is 3 points, right?
So I'm going to tell you about that lack of bite, because I've been telling you, Neil Letts, for months.
Man, hell's that my whole name, you know? Yeah, go on.
You're keeping strikers hostage at your club. The very thing that Arsenal need. Because if we had one of those 6, I'm sure it would be a different kettle of fish. I mean, let's be honest, chaps. Arsenal right now are playing without a proper striker. I mean, Lacazette is, God bless his soul, he's trying hard. He's working well with the players around him, but he's a striker and he's not scoring goals. He scored three goals in open play all season. 3. You know, which just as a striker for a team like Arsenal, what the hell? You know, Emil Smith-Rowe on 10 goals. He's our top scorer in the Premier League. You know, Saka's got 9 goals. So for us to be playing a team like Liverpool and to have Lacazette as our key focal striker, it says a lot. And our struggles going towards the end of the season.
Tony, who do you blame for that?
Oh, 100% I blame the management.
By that, who do you mean? Arteta or the board?
They're all culpable. They're all culpable because, in my eyes, Arsenal have allowed the team to destruct in terms of the makeup of players and the squad numbers and who we have, you know. And when you look at things, you go, well, hang on a second. We've sold 18 players in the last 2 years. and we haven't bought a single striker of note. 18 players are gone. We have cleared so much deadwood, which I admire Arsenal for. You know, our wage bill has gone right down, especially since Aubameyang left. You know, but how do you expect to do what you want to do if you haven't, at the very least, got yourself a striker? And I don't know. I never had any confidence in Arsenal signing Vlahovic in the January transfer window. I don't know if
Vlahovic was never going to Arsenal.
That was my feelings, Andy.
Was never going to Arsenal.
Everybody was talking about it. I was the one who said, I ain't believing one word of that because I know this guy. I don't feel for a minute he's going to go to Arsenal when other top clubs in Italy are going to tout for his services. So I just totally was underawed in terms of my belief that the management were doing what was necessary to elevate the club from 2 8th place finishes to a 4th place finish without improving the squad sufficiently. And I don't believe they did. But I did kind of have to take that back because in the summer, we did some good business. We bought 5 players and all 5 players to me have shown their worth. They're all good players. Obviously, Ramsdale, Ben White, Odegaard are really showing their worth. But, you know,
Ramsdale's going for a little bit of an iffy patch, isn't he?
Yeah, but, you know, look at the Leicester game. He saved us in that game with one, you know, a save that you go, wow, Gordon Banks like. You know,
yeah, but then again,
let's not overdo it. It was a very good save, granted.
Very good save.
But the header needed to be further in the corner. He gave him a chance because it wasn't in the corner, but it was a great save.
All right, Mr. Great Finisher. God.
But then again,
that's a problem with these strikers.
Yeah, Jota beat him.
Strikers Union.
Jota beat him on the inside, so he should never have. Jota should never have been able to score that goal. To be honest, he should never have been able to score. I mean, to be honest. I mean, I look at Arsenal and there's a lot of potential there, but what you guys need to understand is it's not going to happen overnight. It will take a couple of seasons before you regularly get a top 4 spot. Yeah. You guys need to be. When I say you guys, I mean you fans. You need to be patient. Yeah. We were like that when Klopp first came there as well. There was a lot of talk about the tiki-taka football, rock star football, and all that sort of stuff. We had to look past that. We had to wait many years because remember, he's won 5 competitions and he's only just started winning them. You know, this year was the first time he won a domestic competition. You know, you have to be patient and you have to give him a chance to do what he's doing. There are going to be times where you're going to think, what the hell is he doing? Why has he brought this player on? Why haven't they bought this player? You just have to be patient. Yeah.
And that's the honest truth, Neil. You're absolutely right. I'm still the judge. The judges hasn't made a decision on Arteta for me, and it depends on what happens towards the end of this season. You know, if we can maintain and keep 4th place, then I believe that is sufficient to warrant him getting extension. If, however, things fall apart, as Andy hopes, and we end up 6th, 7th, whatever, I'm sorry, but I don't believe he's the right man for the job. So
none of those points have been decided yet. Yeah, but right now, none of those points have been decided yet. You're going to have to wait until you maybe 3 games in from the end of the season to kind of know where you're actually going to finish.
Well, it does.
Lots of teams can win and lots of teams can lose at the same time.
It could be 3 games in from the end of the season and we lose the last 3 games and we end up 7th.
It could be. You're right, but what I'm saying is you have to wait until there's a few more games played out of what's left to kind of make that decision. Because right now, anyone can win a game and anyone can lose a game right now.
Yeah.
And when you look at what the points are, it's people will be swapping over all the time, depending on what. I mean,
what I'm looking at is teams have still got to play each other. I mean, you know,
exactly.
You know, Tottenham have. There's no way that Tottenham have an easy running. I'm not saying ours is less hard than theirs, but they don't have it easy, and we don't have it easy. So I kind of feel a lot of the teams that are vying for that top place, those top places, have all got similar runnings where they're able to take points off one another.
It's open season on those positions from 1 to 4. It's open season at this moment in time. Nothing's decided yet.
Yeah.
The thing is, realistically, the way everything's out now, Arsenal should get 4th spot. They really should. But there's one thing that's making me still back Tottenham. The moment when your manager starts talking about fixture congestion, when you've not got a bad fixture lineup over the next couple months, and the only rescheduled game you've really got is one that you're responsible for getting rescheduled because you might have had one case of COVID in your entire squad. It says to me that Arteta's. I think he's trying to play a little bit of reverse psychology, take a little bit of the pressure off. But the problem is, he's a young manager. Young managers should not start getting involved in those kind of mind games.
Yeah, do you see?
It never works.
Conte took him apart. Do you see it? You see Conte's response?
Yeah, I love Conte. I think he's genuinely outside of Pep and Klopp. I think he's the best manager in Europe. So, and that's why I think Spurs will still nick this 4th spot.
There's a lot of football to be played yet.
There is a lot of football to be played.
The things that I'm holding is there's a couple of things I say the other night. Never thought anything else that Liverpool were going to get the 3 points. And I think the first half they agreed amongst them to play a training game, so that both sides didn't want to go at it for 90 minutes and leave them screwed for the weekend. They agreed 0-0 at half time, and we'll play a 5-minute match. and Liverpool were too good for Arsenal, basically. Simple as that.
Good analogy, Andy. Good analogy.
But also, you've got to look at Arsenal. The thing that would worry me if I was Arsenal, and this has happened with Spurs before, we've been slightly better this season, but not great, is Arsenal against City lost twice. 0-6, 1-6, I think the score. Liverpool lost twice, 0-6. Chelsea lost 0-2 at home, still got to play them away. And United lost 3-2 away and have still got to play them at home. Yeah. So Arsenal against the top 4 from last season scored 3.
I'm glad you forgot to mention the Spurs game. Did you forget that one?
We weren't in the top 4 last season.
Oh, okay. But you just conveniently forgot that one.
Well, yeah, I'm saying against the top 4. Last season, top 4. And
a team that wants to be top 4 but won't mention them as top 4 when we talk about us playing them. All right.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what happens. I'm predicting that the league are going to put our game with Arsenal on Wednesday, May the 11th. That's my prediction.
Ooh.
I think they're deliberately leaving it to the last 2 weeks of the season because they know that it could be a massive, massive game.
Yeah.
Because they've done all the fixtures for April now and they haven't announced it, which makes me think that they're going to put it in between the games on the 7th and the 15th, which means I can see it being Wednesday, May the 11th. That will be my guess, looking at the fixtures.
Wow.
But
excellent.
We'll see.
Excellent intel there, Andy. Right, let's move on. Thursday night, Everton managed to get a win against Newcastle.
What a game.
It was totally unexpected.
What a game. What a game.
Talk to us, Neil. What did you feel?
I was to be honest, I've always been harping on about Newcastle being relegated. And they clearly shut me up over the last 3, 4, 5 games. Everton, however, they're on free fall, mate. I don't know what's going to stop them, but that game has actually helped them, obviously. I mean, Frank's probably thinking, whew, I've got another game in me. They're not going to get rid of me yet. The way both teams play. Yeah, but if you look at the way both teams play, right, had you not known the positions, you'd have thought they were probably mid-team teams just playing their socks out and doing well. I mean, Newcastle clearly dominated the game, and they showed their players actually showed that we should never have been in the bottom three at any time. Everton, however, they do what they do. I mean, they've got all these stars, but they're not firing on all cylinders. I mean, you have to thank the protester who handcuffed themselves to the goalpost. No, because had they not done that, that would have been a 0-0. That would have been
Even that was cheap. He did it with cable ties.
Did you see the
There
size
was handcuffs.
of the bolt cutters?
Well,
though? Did
what?
you see the size of the
Can
bolt
someone
cutters
please
they
help
came on
me?
with?
Can someone please help me? What the hell was that? Because I don't know if
Oil.
you guys
Oil
noticed,
and
someone
gas.
tried the same thing at Arsenal.
It was a protest about oil and gas.
You know, someone tried to do the same thing at Arsenal.
Yeah. And it's really weird because the thing is, I thought that when I initially thought it, I thought it was somebody protesting against the war, and because that kind of makes sense with what's going on now, to make a statement about war's not good and that sort of stuff. But this person protesting against oil and gas, and it's just like, why would you do that in a football game? I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
why? Why would you do that in a football game? Why don't you just go to Parliament and
To draw attention to it.
tie yourself in front of the railings there and make up a lot of noise, right?
Thing
Why?
is, though, if you're going to draw attention to it, though, you go to a big game.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Drew? Wow.
I'm saying that about half time, I went and started staring into my sink, just looking at dishwater. That's how interesting the first 45 minutes were. It did get really good in the second half, though. It was a good second half.
Second half was a good thing, especially when Alan got sent off as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to look. You got to think that from when they went down to 10 men, you just thought, well, Newcastle were just going to step into an extra game. They were just going to dominate because Everton were going to struggle. But didn't work out that way, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for Everton, it didn't work out that way. And Frank's, as I said, he's breathing for another game.
Wow. So, gentlemen, that wraps up almost every game. The game tonight, I mean, flipping hell.
That's
Andy.
big blow to Wolves, because literally after an out, well, before Jimenez got sent off, you couldn't see that there was any way Leeds could win that game. They'd had 4 players gone off injured. One had come on as a concussion substitute.
Yep.
That they'd lost. Like Bamford's just come back, got injured again. Llorente's centre half got injured. One of the others got injured. I mean, it was just like you really started feeling sorry for Leeds. It's like they've suffered so badly, and they were 2-0 down. And then Jimenez gets sent off, and it was like a switch went off in the Leeds team, and bang, they hit two goals in three minutes.
Yep.
Suddenly it's 2-2, and like Wolves were like, what's going on now? And then literally they got the winner in injury time. And there was 10 minutes injury time in both halves.
What?
The game was 210 minutes, like 200 minutes or something ridiculous.
That explains why I got the notification literally as I was starting the show, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell?
But the first half, Wolves got their second goal in like the 55th minute of the first half.
Wow.
And the second half went on, and there was 11 minutes injury time in the first half and about 9 or 10 in the second. It was like literally about 20 minutes more than a normal football match.
Right,
Yeah.
Jens, I'm gonna confess with that game. I saw it up to 2-0, and then I thought, oh shit, I should be on the show. I fell asleep. Sorry, I fell asleep. So I'm looking at it, thinking, hold on, what's just gone on? I'm sorry, but
Oh, dear.
I didn't realise. I thought that Wolves had won that game. To be honest, looking at, I'm thinking, where did they come from? But then that's football for you. When you're looking at the teams,
Why we love the
struggling.
game.
Yeah, exactly, and especially teams that are struggling. Any team around the bottom 5 or 6, those are difficult teams to play right now because they are fighting for survival. It doesn't matter who you are, be you Liverpool, City, whoever. Those are the teams you don't want to play at this time of the season. Yeah, because they've got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to
Spurs'
lose.
last 2 games are Burnley and Norwich.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
If they need anything in those games, they're going to be really hard games.
If they're relegated,
yeah.
if they're
Wait,
relegated,
have you got to go to Turf Moor?
No, we lost at Turf Moor. We got them at home.
yeah. But the
Okay.
thing is, if they were really relegated by the time you get there,
Yeah, that's
you're
obviously
fairly
what we're hoping. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they're not, if they're still like, they need the last game or so to survive.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you guys, man. Those are going to be tough games, real tough games.
So we're at the 18th of March. There's only 3 more Premier League games this month. They all take place this weekend. Aston Villa at home to Arsenal tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. Leicester at home to
Come on, you
Brentford.
villains.
And then the mighty Lily Whites are at home to
West
I'm
Ham.
forever blowing bubbles, West Ham. So we all know that Arsenal will beat Aston Villa tomorrow. Leicester Brentford's a nothing game between 2 mid-table teams. So we know what Andy wants to happen between Tottenham and West Ham, and I think you've already vocalised what you think's going to happen with relation to West Ham's extended game on Thursday night. Neil and Drew, what do you reckon on Tottenham versus West Ham, which is now a big 6-pointer up the top?
Do you know that's going to be hard to call. That's going to be hard to call. I mean, if Son and Kane are in form, then Spurs will nick it. But it's going to be a tough game. I mean, Moyes has done wonders with that team. Yeah, they're actually on a high. They're doing well in Europe as well. I mean, it's not the biggest European competition, but for them, they're doing brilliantly. They're on the high. They're going to be hard to break down. Do you know if it's going to go one way, I see Spurs just about nicking it, but it's going to be a difficult game. It's not going to be a walkover for either team. It's just going to be end to end. You guys got to watch out because you know what the Hammers are like sometimes. Oh, if you put them against the wall, they will come out fighting and they will take out a couple of your players as well. So hopefully there's no injuries in that game as well.
Yeah.
See, I
what do you reckon,
think
Drew?
it'd go to Spurs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can see it 2-1. I think West Ham's biggest thing now, they've just taken Sevilla out of Europe.
Yeah.
They've got a genuine chance of winning a trophy. They need to focus on winning a trophy, and I think that's where all their efforts should go now. So I think they're more likely to drop a league game against Spurs in the grand scheme of things. So I'd pick Spurs probably 2-0.
Moyes, he's never been that close to the top 4 as in actually getting into the top 4 and securing that position. I think that even though Europe is good for them right now, I think they'll go for it. He's that close to top 4, and if the teams around them they make mistakes, especially if you can take 3 points off Spurs. Yeah,
if West Ham were to go top 4 though, they would literally have to win every game and hope for some almighty cock up some other teams.
Nothing's impossible. Look, you look a couple of months ago, everybody was saying City had sewn it up. No one's going to do this. No one's going to do that. It's over. Yeah, City haven't done it yet.
I think what's going to kill West Ham is their participation in the Europa League, because they're going to have, whereas other teams now like Spurs, United, and Arsenal are out of everything, West Ham are going to have to play Thursday nights, and that's going to affect their performances on Sundays.
Yep, and Thursday nights is Europa nights, right?
This is what I think. You have, if you're West Ham, you have to choose what you want to focus on, and I think getting 4th is almost impossible. Focus on trying to win a trophy is where my mind would be at.
Yeah, we're talking about Moyes. We're talking about Moyes. Moyes will try and do both. To be honest, he'll try to do both.
Gents. I've got a couple other things I want to talk about very briefly, and please make it short because we are now gone past the 11 o'clock hour. We could be here for hours and end, but there is so much good stuff in football right now to talk about. So first things first, can anyone give me an update on the Chelsea situation?
Bid closed at 9 o'clock. Nick Candy and someone else have confirmed that they've made bids. Nobody else has confirmed they've made bids yet, but there are definitely a couple of bids that have been made before the deadline.
Without sounding like a little bit of a pig, I really want Nick Candy's bid to become successful, because we all remember Holly Valance from Neighbours from the noughties, right? she is his wife. She will be attending a lot of home games. I'm not going to lie. I have Googled it to see how she's aged, and she's still pretty lovely. So I'm back. No, I want Nick Candy to actually get Chelsea though, because he's a Chelsea fan.
Okay. Just because
I mean,
Chelsea fan, yeah.
That's what I love about you guys. I swear to God, you guys have got the best intel. So let me ask this, Andy. How the hell can they do that business? Because obviously they can't sell the club in the UK, technically.
The weird thing is can anyone really seriously believe that Abramovich is going to write off the money that the club owe him? Does anyone actually believe that? The only way I see this working is if there's some kind of convoluted deal being done offshore in the Cayman Islands or something.
Yeah.
Where someone's saying, "Oh, I'll buy it, and we're not going to say that you're going to get anything, but in 5 years' time, we're going to give you £2 billion or something." I mean, it's a bit of a, there's something going to be going on in there, because otherwise, it's just not going to happen, is it?
And for the sake of the club staying in business, something has to happen, because the government, last week I mentioned this on the show, the government have listed Chelsea as a culturally significant asset. They cannot, by that definition, allow it to go to the wall. So there's no way that Chelsea end up going to the wall. Yes, it all gets real squeaky bum in the next 2 weeks, and more people are probably going to lose their job. But the club, to me, ain't going to go out of business.
No, the club will still be there. We know that they're going through tough times at this moment in time, and nobody knows what's actually going to happen with that money or who handles that money.
What's going to be?
Thing is, the government say it's not going to go to Roman. I still can't see how.
What's going to be interesting is what they're going to do. Are they going to stop Chelsea from going in the Champions League next season? Is there going to be any kind of sanction on Chelsea?
Well, if Chelsea by next season aren't owned by Roman Abramovich, you can't do that.
No, they can't. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that. But do you know what? They're making it up as they go along right now.
That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
I would rather see him go and partner Van Dijk.
He nearly scored the world, didn't he?
Antonio Rudiger and Stefan de Vrij from Inter. That's what they're working on.
So, guys,
Tony, before you close, can I just say?
Closing. I've got another question, mate.
Oh, okay. I want to say a word before the end. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. So, guys, again, very quickly, Champions League draw came out. I know we got the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, but the Champions League draw came out today. I kind of feel there was some hot balls going on there. Guys, talk to me about your feelings about the quarterfinal draw.
Not going to lie, I had some hot balls, but I didn't want to draw Liverpool. No, the two best teams in the tournament have been kept apart. So, I mean, that's made me happy. I think, quite honestly, it should be a City-Liverpool final as long as both teams perform, which I think that's the best thing for English football.
You're on mute, Neil.
Sorry, my headset died. I quickly took it off. So can you guys hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. No, it should be. It still can be a City Liverpool final. It's gonna be difficult though. It's gonna be difficult. I mean, Benfica anyway. I mean, I reckon we'll get to the semi-finals. I'm hoping Bayern don't get there, and I'm hoping City get to the finals, mate. But it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult.
I'm going to go for Villarreal v Atletico Madrid.
Yeah?
No, I'm joking.
No, that could happen.
Guys,
could happen. Nothing is decided yet.
Are not any of you concerned about Bayern Munich?
No,
not this season.
No.
Really?
Not this season.
They're still amongst the top 5 teams in Europe. There's
Two
no
years
denying it.
ago,
Yeah.
absolutely. Not now.
Yeah,
I mean, the kid Lewandowski
They,
is just.
if Liverpool play Bayern, Liverpool will beat them. I'm sure.
I reckon we can. I believe that we can do it. I'm not really
Yeah.
worried.
Wow.
I shouldn't say that I'm not worried, but to be honest, our half of the draw, our half of it, I think we've got it pretty easy compared to obviously Chelsea and City. I think that we've got the easy side, to be honest.
Does
I
anyone
don't think there's a lot of difference between the two sides of the draw, to be honest.
Does anybody fancy Chelsea to be upset by Real Madrid?
Yes.
I do.
I don't think they will.
This is not a strong Real Madrid side, but what they've got is experience. Real Madrid know how to. I mean, look at them. They were out against PSG. I mean, PSG shot themselves in the foot, but Madrid took advantage of the situation. They've got players, Modric, Benzema. They've got these kind of players that know how to get over the line in big games.
Yeah.
So that will be tough, but I still expect that Chelsea should have too much of Real Madrid. But
do we know how they're going to travel to the game yet?
yeah,
Is Tuchel hiring a minibus for him this time?
He said he'd drive them, didn't he? He said he would drive them if he had to. I'm looking at that half. I see Chelsea getting past Real Madrid. If anyone does have a problem, it's going to be City. Atletico are pretty good in Europe, and they've proved it season in, season out. City should still win that, but if anyone upsets that half, it's going to be Atletico.
If I'm Manchester City though, I want Real Madrid to beat Chelsea because Chelsea are a tough nut for City to crack.
Exactly.
Whereas I think City would have a better chance against Real Madrid.
Definitely.
In Europe, I think we beat both Madrid teams, but I don't think we beat Chelsea in Europe because they got a hoodoo on us.
That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Lovely. Gents, that's my lot for tonight. Andy, do you want to talk about our mutual friend?
Yeah, just quickly, I've had some very worrying news today. A mutual friend of both Tony and I, Vince Philpott, is currently in hospital in intensive care. So we just want to send a big shout out to Vince. Get well soon, mate. Wish you a speedy recovery. I know things aren't great, but we hope you pull through this, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side. So
yeah, good. Big up to the boy Vince Philpott. He's a diamond geezer. We've been friends. We played football together for many years, and all the best for you, big chap. I'm looking forward to seeing you again when you come out. Gentlemen, it's been entertaining as always. I love the banter. I love the intel. I'm gonna have to look up Holly Valance because I also had a little bit of a
Kiss, Tony. Remember the song Kiss?
Right. If you don't just want to watch a music video and you basically just want to watch a movie, but just all beautiful women having a fight on an island, go watch Dead or Alive, but watch it with the sound off because the dialogue's terrible and the acting's terrible. But my days, is it a treat for your optic nerve? I think I've just explained way too much of what I done in the early noughties, haven't
I? And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Take it easy.
Have a good one.
Easy, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now. Thanks.